I'm going to use this picture as a guideline, and I'm going to start drawing my eyes. My eyes should be right in the middle of this line here. One thing I notice about my eyes is this sort of shape. It's sort of like the shape of an almond. They sort of make this shape. I'm going to start by first drawing an eye shape, an almond shape, right on the middle guideline. Okay, now pause here. Let's take a look. On my face, if I measure the length of my eye, I should be able to fit one whole eye between my two eyes. On my drawing, let's see if I can do that. The whole length of this eye would mean that eye starts all the way out here, and it would have to be about this big. You can already see that's not right. So, what has to happen? My eye needs to shrink in size. This happens when we're trying to draw realistic. Sometimes we have to draw something and we have to go back and retry because something doesn't quite work. That's okay, that's part of the process. Let's try this eye shape. Okay, now I'm going to check. If I measure with my pencil, go to the end, I have notice how I use that measurement, what I measured from the tip of my pencil, and with my fingernails, I lined up my fingernails to the edge of this first eye, I made a mark, I lined it up again, and I made another mark. That shows me I have enough space to fit both of my eyes in. They look much smaller than my brain thinks they need to be, and your brain might think the same. But that's correct. Let's start drawing some details of the eyes. First off, let's get rid of this guideline. I don't need him anymore since I put my eyes on. Let's talk about how to draw the iris. The iris is the colorful part of your eye, that big circle. Inside that black circle, that's the pupil. To draw the iris, I'm going to make a big circle that sits right inside of that almond shape. And I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to be very careful to try to make sure I get them the same size. If I have to do some erasing, that's okay. That's part of the process. Now let's draw the pupil. We're going to draw a little circle inside. And what we're going to include in the pupil is a highlight. Do you see in this picture my highlight is sort of a square here and could even include a square out here. And then just one square on this side. So when I'm drawing my pupil, I'm going to mark a spot, a square here on this eye, and on this side. Start with the pupil. And draw the highlight over here. Now look, that highlight is white. I'm not going to do anything to him. I'm going to let him just stay completely white. But my pupil is going to get completely black. That is the darkest part of our eyes, right inside there, the pupil. So I'm going to fill him in with my pencil. Next, let's talk about the iris. The iris is normally the colored part of your eye. Some people have brown eyes, some people have blue eyes, some have green. Mine are sort of light brown. They're darker than some people's, but not quite so dark. You might have very, very dark colored eyes. Look at your eyes in the mirror or in a photo and try to match to the best of your ability. When I'm filling in the eyes, I want to zoom in so you can see. I'm going to use little lines, and some of those lines are going to sort of cross over each other. And if I have very dark eyes, I'm also going to take my pencil and lightly color in a few parts. Go back, maybe draw a few darker lines, not too many. And then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to sort of make that outside line a little bit darker. Okay, same on the other side. Notice I leave the highlight alone. Now, let's take a look at our eyelids. You have this line here. Notice how it covers part of my iris. I need to go check. Is it quite covering? It's almost there, but not quite. So I'm going to fix that. The other side too cuts off the top part of my circle. It's almost there, but not quite. At the bottom, the skin around my eyes just barely touches that circle. So I'm going to change that a little bit. I also see that this points down. There's more of a slope up, and this one is a little bit more flat. So I'm going to change a little bit in my portrait. Let's take a look at one detail I forgot to add to the eyes, and that is the upper eyelid, this crease that forms here, and your eyelashes. The crease on my eye kind of is flat and then curves down at the end here. So if I go over to my drawing, I'm going to draw that lightly in here. Curves down. And the crease on this side, he curves up, flat, and then curves down slightly. Then I can add some value. I see, again, the shadow under my eye here. I see some shadow. It's darker here. I can add that in lightly, coloring with my pencil. and blend it out. And same on this side. I see shadow here on my eyelid, a little bit over here, and up above. And my eyelashes. I don't really see my eyelashes until they start right about here, and they sort of come up a little bit and then they start to move out a little more. On the bottom they curve around this way, but I don't really see any here. This side, they start here again, they're sort of flat, and I see them poke out over on this side. I see a few more over on that eye, so I'm going to make sure I draw that in. So again, they start right beside my iris. They kind of come up, and as they go out this way, they curve out a little bit more. Here. Just see a few of them. I don't want to draw too many. Sometimes if we draw too many, it starts to look unrealistic. Now coming over to this side, the same thing. Notice I'm kind of going this direction with my pencil. I'm not going straight up and down, even though we know our eyelashes are long and stick up. When we actually look at them, usually they're curved more to the outside. And these curve down this way. I'm curving them sort of like little C's down here. And there I have my eyes.